Welcome back to Collecting Chaos Live. And if it's your first time here, welcome. Well, I see we have. That was a mistake. Well, I see we have no one in the chat, no one watching. A typical start to my Thursday evening show. As a matter of fact, it's been a typical start to a lot of my shows. So I guess I'll just keep talking until somebody shows up. If anybody bothers to show up at all, they might not. They might. I don't know. It's like I said, it's an interesting day. We started out this morning. It was about 98 degrees, and by about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, it was down to 72 where I live, and now it's up to it's 81. So a little bit of a cool factor here for Central Texas. The reason for that was we had, of course, southern winds come in, strong winds. And we had a little bit of rain. So tomorrow is going to be hell. Literally. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be hot. You'll walk outside and be pouring out sweat. And it doesn't really matter. It can be 85 degrees and it's still going to be the same. Because that little bit of moisture in the air is just going to kill us. It happens, that's just the way it is. That's life where I live. But we needed a little bit of rain. We didn't get enough of it. And we needed a break from the heat because, a solid week of over 100 degrees it's getting up there. Actually, it's probably more like a week and a half that we had. It was over 100 degrees. So I picked up a couple items because, I do that. And I think they're I thought they were kind of cute, so I picked them up. Some coloring and activity books. I picked up this Mickey Mouse, or Minnie Mouse, and I've got, several of them. And My Little Pony ones. So, I'll maybe get a little money for those off eBay. And oh yeah, I picked up another dinosaur because you know me and dinosaurs. This one is huge. It's like 20 inches tall. It's just, yeah, it's big. But it was cute. And when I first saw it, I just saw this part of it, and I thought, oh my gosh, a Godzilla plush. And then I pulled it out, and I went, that's not Godzilla. It's a T-Rex or something similar. And yeah, got the tag. Got the tag here. So couldn't resist it, had to grab it. Because, dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs, so what can you do? And, didn't get to Walmart, which is the closest place that sells steel wool, and I need steel wool for that airplane. So that's going to be a while before I get to work on that some more. I did use some real fine sandpaper on it just to see if that would help, and it did, but I need to go over the whole thing with steel wool, especially that one that feels all rough. I just need to take off the rough edges with the finest steel wool I can find, and maybe get like 2 or 3 grades of steel wool so I can, the coarser, the mid, and then the fine grade, and then repaint them and hopefully they'll turn out good. So that's what I got going on, and of course listing on eBay every day. That's didn't take up as much time as I thought it would. I spend more time doing research on the items that I'm getting ready to list than I do the actual listing. If I cut out the research and just listed them, took pictures and listed them, I could do the 10 in an hour, no problem at all. Maybe an hour and 20 minutes on a bad day. But because I like to research everything and take multiple pictures, uh, it takes me about 3 or 4 hours to do 10. And that's because of the research. And I will sometimes take 4, 5, 6 pictures, the exact same picture, because I didn't like the quality of the first ones. I'll take 3 or 4 of each shot and then pick out the ones I like best and go that way. And it seems to be working for me because I'm getting some sales. Of course, a lot of those are action figures that I'm listing for $2.99 auctions starting at $2.99, and they end up selling for $2.99. Charge $5 for shipping, but then I make sure they are getting their money's worth for each ship. Same thing with magic cards. I'm listing magic cards for a penny, and I got a lot of them that are getting ready to sell for a penny. But I've got some that are selling for $9, $10, $20, and those are the ones I make money off of, and the other ones I don't care about. If I don't make money off of them, it doesn't matter. But even on the ones I sell for a penny, because of the shipping, I still make 20 or 30 cents on. So I'm not too worried about it. And it's just something I want to get rid of anyway. And on those cards that sell for $5 to $10 or more, I sold one for 20. So I'll throw in a couple of extra common cards for free. Just things that I think will go with the card that they bought, and just to get rid of them. Because I don't want the magic cards, but I don't want to give them away as such. I would like to make a little money off of them, because some of them I've had for 28, 29 years. I'd like to get 15, 20, 30 cents off of them at least. So I got one guy that he bid on 47 of my magic cards. So if he wins them all, he'll pay like 47 cents plus shipping, and I'll figure it out, and so that I make a little bit of money off of him. But I'm not going to kill the guy on shipping either. I'll be reasonable about it. And on those cards, I'll probably not ship them in I probably won't ship them in my little mailers that I use. I'll probably use one of these boxes that I've got. And I have another guy that's getting multiple action figures, and I'll probably ship those in one of these boxes too. Because they're 3 1/4 inch action figures, so they'll fit in there. I can fit about 4 or 5 in there without a problem. So, yeah, it's all good. We'll get it together. I see 3 people. None of them talking, none of them chatting, but at least they're here, and that's. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. And I believe they all hit the thumbs up, so they might have just popped in, hit the thumbs up, and popped out, and that's fine. All things silver. Put the cards in an empty box from a deck of playing cards. Yeah, no. 2 pieces of corrugated cardboard on either side. Wrap them with plastic. Put some bubble wrap around that. Wrap them again. Stick them in that box and ship them away. That is the safest way. Because when I send somebody something, I want them to get it in the exact condition that I sent it. And that's why I use plastic wrap on everything, because it can get soaked with water, and the water's not going through that plastic. Not the way I do it anyway. So Anyway, all things silver. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for making your comment. I do appreciate comments, but I have my own set way of doing it. And if I had an empty box from a deck of playing cards, I might consider doing it that way. But I don't have any. I have a couple of empty boxes of magic, empty magic boxes, but they're like, let's see if I think I have one handy here. Yeah, one from Ice Ages that I've flattened it out. I got another one in here somewhere too. Oh, there it is. It's an unlimited box, and I'm offering those up for sale separately because there are collectors for that stuff too. Jackson Roy Clerk, glad you could stop in. I showed a little while ago. I picked up this dinosaur because dinosaur. It's pretty good sized. Its head's almost as big as mine is. But yeah, I mean, it's a dinosaur. I can't resist dinosaurs. I don't collect them. I just like to get them, and then I generally sell them. I do have some back there on one of my shelves that, yeah, I'll probably sell them one day, but not anytime soon. And then I picked up some coloring books with crayons, coloring My Little Pony and Minnie Mouse, a shiny Minnie Mouse, and I'm gonna list these for like $4 a piece and see what happens. And I've got a couple of them, so that's a good thing. So yeah, it's I've been just doing things, like I said, doing a lot of scanning for eBay and not scanning, but taking pictures. I've scanned one thing for eBay because I couldn't get the picture to show what I wanted to show. So I had to do a scan of it to get a better quality, because a scan is going to give you a better quality anyway. And it was on a button that had some scratches on it. I wanted to show the scratches. Couldn't show them with my camera, but the scanner showed them real good. And I have a crease on a comic book that I'm gonna scan that. Yeah. Although there's some other things that I've been eyeing that I might pick up. I think those would do well, but I have to. I'm going to research them before I go and buy them, if they still have them where I was sourcing. Like I said, it got nice today. It got down to 76. That was the lowest temperature it got, and right now it's at about, according to, yeah, it's about 81 degrees. It's pretty good for me. Do I need to? I mean, I'm collecting chaos. What would you expect me to have my eBay name as? It's the same name, Collecting Chaos. That's what I am on IG. That's what I am on eBay. That's what I am on YouTube. Patrick, glad to see you. Glad you could stop in. Always glad to see you lighten up the chat. Doing pretty good. Got 3 viewers and 6 thumbs up. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't see any real reason to post my eBay name. I'm not trying to get people to just go look at my stuff. I want them to go buy my stuff. And eBay, you're going to pay more. That's the bottom line. Yeah. I mean, a comic that I sell here for $10, I'll probably list on eBay for $15. Because eBay takes, let's face it, they're going to take about 17% any way I look at it. So I have to make up that 17% somehow. And here, of course, the shipping is combined a lot better than on eBay, although I do combine shipping. I'm going to start listing some baseball cards pretty soon, or football. I haven't decided which. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them into teams and sell them that way, and like 20 cards for $1 or whatever. Because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. I probably have close to 1 million cards, and I need to get rid of them. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. I even have some racing, NASCAR, wrestling, non-sports cards. I've got, I don't know how many boxes of non-sports cards. So, on non-sports cards, on some stuff, I'll try to put like, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But I'm thinking just listing 20 cards for $1. That's a nickel a piece. And start the bidding at that. And if I get one bidder, that means they'll sell, And people are going to pay a lot more than a nickel a piece because shipping. The lowest I'm going to get shipping down to, and still, because shipping has to include the container it goes in, whether it's one of these little envelopes or one of these boxes. It's going to cost me about 40-50 cents, so I have to include that in the shipping. Plus the shipping cost itself. Plus eBay takes a chunk of that money too. So my minimum shipping charge is generally $5. And I've only had one person complain about, and they didn't really complain. They just, for shipping, they put me down at like a 4-star instead of a 5-star. And I can understand that because $5 seems a lot when you're getting that through first-class mail. But if they go and they look, it costs $4.99 if they take it to the post office. So I don't think I'm that unreasonable. And they're getting it in the best possible condition I can send it in. So whether it's cardboard or a action figure, cardboard on both sides, wrap it up, put it in an envelope or a box and send it. It's not going to get damaged the way I do it. Like I said, nobody's really complained about the way I ship. Just the one person dinged me for the cost of shipping. I guess they've never had to actually pay for shipping before. So, yeah, that's... But like I said, I don't see a need. I don't see a need to add. I mean, okay, yeah, I sell on YouTube. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know my my store name is Kollecting Kaos, of course. But that's not something I need to advertise. If people want to find what I'm selling, they'll find it. I put up one comic a day. Generally, they're coming out of my boxes up top, which are the key comics. I'm listing mostly key issues right now, and I'm not trying to make a killing on them. I look at what other people have sold them for, and I start my auctions a little lower than that generally. And in some cases, it goes up, and in some cases, it doesn't. How you doing, Angel? It's good to see you. Glad you could stop in. It's something that would drive him crazy. Angel, look what I got. A BAD, big ass dinosaur. Almost life size. I'm still going to do a poster special tomorrow night, but I can only include 2 of the posters because I'm almost out of the Dawn poster. I think I've got a line on some more where I can get some more of them, and I haven't finalized that yet. But if I can get them, I'll do it, and then I'll be able to do a little more. We're going to do a special on the World of Warcraft and the Diablo poster, I think, for tomorrow night's auction. So you want to make sure you tune into Horizon Picks channel tomorrow for that auction. I'm sure Patrick, if he's still here, will probably drop the link because I don't ever remember where it is. I could probably find it if I looked. Let me see if I can find it there. You never know. I might find it. And again, I might not. You never know. Oh, wow. They're recommending I go and watch one of Patrick Murphy's auctions that was 7 months ago. Gotta love stuff like that. Stacy May, glad you could stop in. Let's see if I can find that. Nope. Got no idea where it is. I'm going to find it, though, one way or the other. It's a handy thing having more than one computer at a time. Of course, I have the sound turned off on the second, or I'm supposed to have the sound turned off on the second computer. Yep, there it is. I found it. There you go. That's the Horizon Picks auction for tomorrow night. Definitely don't want to miss that. It ought to be fun. We usually do. We have a good time. Patrick and myself and Horizon Picks. It's going to start at 8 o'clock Eastern, which is 7 o'clock my time, which is better for me. And I do it, and better for Patrick also. And we appreciate Horizon accommodating us by moving it up an hour later. Or at least I do. I don't know if Patrick appreciates it or not. I'm sure he does, because it gives him a chance to go after he gets off work. I will not be having, let's see, after tomorrow night's auction, you're not going to see me on YouTube for 2 weeks. I won't be doing any live streams next week or the week after. And I will not be doing any of my pre-recorded stuff for 2 weeks. I'm taking a 2-week break from YouTube because I need to recharge. I've been doing it every week continuously since September 2019, and I'm a little burned out. And so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take 2 weeks off from YouTube. Still going to be listing every day on eBay, and it's going to start at the end of Horizon Picks auction, and it's going to pick up again at the beginning of Horizon Picks next Friday night auction. So let's hope he doesn't go 3 weeks. And I'm going to try to learn a few things, and like I said, I need to recharge and maybe figure out where I want to go, because I'm not sure where I'm going with YouTube right now, or if I even want to continue doing it. 2 weeks, just assume I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. I might pop into other people's channels. I might be in their chat. Probably won't be on any lives. I may or may not drop a just a minute video, but even those, I don't even want to do those right now. I don't want to do anything right now. I don't want to. I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm not sharing anything new, and I'm not helping people. So I need to take a break. Oh no, I'm not going to do what now. Like I said, I'll do Horizon Picks auction, and then I'm going to skip my auction for 2 weeks, and then I'll do Horizon Picks auction again, and that the second time I do his auction will kick off me doing YouTube on a regular basis again. And we might see some changes on what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and stuff like that. So I have to take a look at everything. Oh, that's all right, Dawn. I just appreciate you being here. As always, I appreciate everybody that shows up. If you really want to find me on YouTube during the week, and I'm not doing anything else, just look at Dawn and Mary's show on Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock. You'll find me in the chat. I'm not going to miss that. Yeah, I need to really, instead of just cranking stuff out, I need to think about what I'm doing. maybe make a plan going forward, maybe actually having a goal for each series that I do. It's just like right now, the Eternal My Light project. It just goes on and on and on. And there's no goal in sight. Of course, the goal is to get everything in my collection in Mylar. Well, nobody cares about that but me. Some people like to see what I've got, but do I really need to do that every single week? It gets boring for me to make those. I'm sure it's not the most exciting things for people to watch. That's true. It is eternal. But it doesn't have to be every single week either. I mean, it can be more sporadic. Or I could do 5 in 1 week and maybe none for a month. Like I said, I need to rethink where I'm going with the channel and what I want to do with it. And it's not because of any bad feedback or anything I've gotten. I'm just, 2 years plus, actually over 2.5 years, every single week, cranking out videos, and I haven't learned anything. Not really. Hopefully I've taught people a few things, but how many times do I have to show people how to take this soapy solution that I buy from a place and clean a comic book cover? How many times do I have to take an eraser and show people how to erase a comic book cover? How many times do I have to do this? How many times do I have to do that? How many times do I have to show them how to take out a spine roll? I've done all that stuff multiple times. I just don't need to keep showing the same thing over and over and over. I need to show people new stuff. So I need to learn new stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'll do. I'm not going to give up on that one, but I'm just going to change it a little bit, I think. But I have to think about how I want to change it and how I want to do it. My original idea was I'd go over to my comics boxes and just grab stuff at random and show it. And that worked for a while, but then after a while, it stopped being so random. John, glad to see you. Glad you could stop in. I've just been letting people know that I'm going to take a couple of weeks off from YouTube. I will be in Horizon Picks auction, and then I'm not going to post anything for a couple of weeks because I have to rethink how things are going. And I'm saying 2 weeks, but it might only take me a week. So we have to see where it goes. Yeah, the just a minute videos are better, I think, for that sort of thing. But I have to think about how I want to do those too, and I need to plan a bunch of them out. uh, 20,000 comic books. They're all over the house. I do have them pretty much in alphabetical order. I have all my DC comics separate from everything else. I have my Tarzan comics separate. I have a few other titles that are separate. All my Atlas comics are separate. All my Pacific comics are separate. All my Archies are separate from everything else. I've got 3 small boxes of Archies. Or short boxes. I'm probably going to separate all my Dell Gold Key from everything else. So, but yeah, that's a good idea as to how I categorize stuff, how I sort things. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll show you a picture of 32 or 40 some long or short boxes of DC comics. If you know, and each one has a label, and all the label says DC Comics 001, DC Comics 002. But I know what's in those boxes. No, Jughead doesn't play nice with others. Although I do have one comic that I'm having trouble. I want to put it with the Marvel comics, but I kind of want to put it with the Archie comics, and I'm not sure where I should put it, but it's probably going to end up with the Archies because it's Punisher meets Archie from the 90s. And it's mint. Not near mint. Not near mint to mint. I believe if it were graded right now, it would be a 9.9 at least. Of course, if I will be checking, and if you really need to get in touch with me, you can always go to my my page, my community tab, and post a message there, and I will see it. Yeah, Punisher meets Archie. Yep, I got that. And like I said, my copy's mint. Whatever character is older. Actually, my oldest character for Punisher meets Archie, it would be Archie. Because Archie Andrews was originally, I think, from 1941. Punisher didn't show up until 1973, I think. 73 or 74. Well, Marvel published them, but it was a joint effort between Marvel and Archie. Really, you didn't like what was it, Riverdale? I loved Riverdale. I thought it was great. I want to get it on DVD. Right. He crosses. He's looking for somebody and crosses into the Archie world in order to find him. And the person looks amazingly similar to Archie. Spoilers: the comic has only been around since 1997 or so. So I know, and the Jughead isn't Jughead from the comics either, but it was still good. You see, when I watched it as okay. It features the characters, but they're not really the characters. Kind of like the way I watched the Godzilla movie from the 90s. It was Godzilla because of the name, but it wasn't really Godzilla. It was a giant, you know, atomic breathing iguana. Oh, I have a lot of Jughead comics. I know. Of course, I don't have any. I don't have hardly any of the newer ones. Most of the ones I have are from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. A few from the 90s. People used to. I used to go to shows and ask people if they had any Archie comics, and look at me like I'd lost my mind. And I'd buy them for like 5, 10 cents a piece, bulk. Oh yeah, I got this whole stack. I'll give them to you for $1. Yeah, okay. I just buy every Archie comic I can lay my hands on. Nobody could understand it. I'd take them back to my store. I'd price them at $1, $2 a piece, and I'd be out of them in a week. I remember going back or coming from a show where I bought 500 Archie comics. That's over a long box and a half. In 2 weeks, I didn't have any. In 2 weeks, I sold 500 Archie. I probably made $1,000 off. Well, yeah, because some of them were older, so I probably made $1,000 off those. And that was back in the 90s. Because when people found out that I actually sold back issues of Archie comics, they would tell their friends that collected Archie comics, and they would tell their friends that collected, and I was getting all of these Archie comic people that they weren't looking for the new comics, they wanted the older ones, the back issues. So I could sell the heck out of them. And I bought every one I could lay my hands on, and I still buy them whenever I can, as long as they're reasonably priced. They've started to go up a little bit. I mean, they're starting to get a little bit more expensive. So, yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. We'll show this one more time in case everybody didn't see it. Got me a new dinosaur. He's not as small as my other dinosaur, plush dinosaur. The other one is like 8 inches tall, and this one's 20 inches tall, but they're scale. They're both. He's just huge. Like I said, his head's about as big as mine. And I'll probably sell it. And I picked up comes with 4 crayons. And yeah, these are going to go on eBay for sure. I don't know about the dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah. I get stuff that when I see. Here's my thought: when I go to a thrift store or something. Now I didn't get these at a thrift store. I arbitraged them. Uh, when I go to a thrift store, number one, I look for what I know. I know toys. Worked in a toy store in the 90s, or not in the 80s, so I know toys. Plus, the older toys I played with back in the 60s, early 60s. Okay, late 50s, early 60s. And so when I see something from that time frame, I recognize it and I know to get it. I look at the smaller toys because I know what I'm looking for. And I buy a lot of the little bags, $3-4 with a bunch of toys in it. And I'll buy those if I see 1 or 2 toys in there that I think I can turn money on. So if I can buy a bag of toys for $3 and it has a $5 toy in it, that's kind of no brainer because you're going to get at least $1 or $2 for the rest of them. Maybe. Sometimes I only get 50 cents for it. But that's okay. I don't mind. And then I go to the book section because I know books too. I've been a collector of books for almost as long as I've been alive, especially the children's books, the golden books and stuff like that. I've been collecting those off and on. Well, I sold my collection, but I had probably 300 or 400 of the golden books, and I know what to look for, and I know when it's an original and when it's a first print, when it's second print, when it's third, like that. So I still like to buy those, but I don't see them as often as I used to. And I buy them, 5, 10, 15 cents, sometimes 50 cents a piece. When I sold my collection, God, $1,200, $1,300 for the collection. About that. I didn't piece it out. I sold it as a lot, one big group. Um, Big Little books, of course, I buy those. You might be able to see a few on the shelf up here behind me, underneath the thing. Those are Big Little books. And I've got a shelf and a half of those. I buy those too when I see them. Uh, yeah, they do, but a lot of them are actually really good books. Uh, but you got to look for things that have Mickey Mouse and Peter Pan and Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw, the old cartoon characters, Bugs Bunny. If you see those in one of the little golden books, the children's books, that's that's money. Especially if it's a first print. Even if it's a second print, it might be worth some money. But you need to learn about them and learn how to tell what's a first print, what's a second print. Is this in a condition that's sellable? Well, I have to lot this up with 3 or 4 others in order to sell it. And then there's a lot of children's books that aren't worth anything. Heckle and Jekyll, yes, absolutely. If you see a Heckle and Jekyll one, pick it up. That's good stuff. I mean, minimum on that stuff, at a guess right now, I'd say $8 to $10 probably, maybe more. First print from like the 40s or 50s or 60s, you might get $20 if it's the right characters. If it's a run-of-the-mill character, you're not going to get hardly anything for it. If it's something like, if it's a Golden Book of Oz, or any of the characters out of the Wizard of Oz, or any of the characters out of Alice in Wonderland, money in the bank. That's all there is to it. And there's other books too. I don't have examples of them, so I don't really want to try to go into those right now. I love the old children's books, Hardy Boys books, especially if you get one with a dust jacket. Even without a dust jacket, $10, $15 probably. Yeah, Goosebumps, that's new stuff. That's like people say, oh, I have a first edition of Harry Potter. I'm going, yeah, so you can buy them all day long on eBay. I would not buy a Harry Potter book as an investor because there's too many of them out there. Too many people are trying to sell them. I want the older ones that not a lot of people have. It's just like the puzzles I get. Where is that one? I don't know. I don't know what I did with it. I had it around here somewhere. But like, I buy old puzzles, like the old play school puzzles, but I want it from the 50s or early 60s or older because that has the best artwork on but I never try to sell those because I like them. I probably should sell them because they probably bring me a little money, but some of them are a little, you show little Indian boys. That's probably not the best thing to do. Good night, Patrick. We'll see you tomorrow night. Wow, Captain Caveman board game. I have not seen one of those in forever. I don't think I've ever owned one. I've seen them, never owned one. Yeah. Yeah, there's some things that it's more fun to find it out while you're looking around, and maybe you go into a thrift store and you see one, or maybe you go to a little antique shop and they've got one that's all dusty and everything, and you get it cheap. But or in a yard sale or something like that. Sometimes that's the best way to buy stuff, and not because you're going to get a better price. It's just it's the hunt, the thrill of the hunt, if you will. But if I ever run across a Captain Caveman board game, I'll snap a picture of it, send it to you, so you can tell me if you want it or not. Because I wouldn't feel right if I didn't. And then I'll probably buy it whether you want me to or not. Yeah, I had a few Hardy Boys books. My sisters had a lot of the Nancy Drew. We have no idea what happened to them. I think they got sold at a yard sale while I was in the Army. Yeah, eBay does take the fun out of the hunt. I have a Shirley Temple doll in the other room from 1958, I think. I have to finish cleaning it up and get some clothes for it, and then I'll offer it up for sale. Yeah, it's hard to reclaim your youth. Hard to get back that stuff that's gone. But I think the first Shirley Temple doll came out in the 40s. Don't I'd have to look it up. I got a book in here somewhere that has it in there. I had all kinds of books. If you ever see one of these or any of the Toys and Prices books cheap, pick it up. It's a great resource. Uh, don't pay attention to the prices, but it's a great resource. And sometimes it's more fun to look through a book to find stuff you want to know about than to just go online and find it. Yeah. Well, I know what happened to the teddy bear I used to have. He was a big one. I used to drag him around by the ear, and it got thrown away. And I dug it out of the trash, and it got thrown away. About 4 months later, and I dug it out of the trash. Uh, my mom had had enough, and it got burned. Well, she did sing other songs besides that. Yeah, the Shirley Temple doll I had has a burn mark on her head. It's like a brown mark. I have to see if there's a way to get that off. I'm researching that right now to try to find out if there's a way to get that brown off. Well, the one I had was bigger than me. Back when I was, 4 or 5, 6 years old, 4 or 5 years old, it was bigger than I was. Which is why I drug it around by the ear, because I couldn't pick it up. I loved that bear. Yeah, that sounds like my niece. She has, let's see, in 1972, no, 1973. Uh, my niece, my youngest of my nieces wasn't that old, and it was Christmas, and we were shopping, and I decided I'm going to get her this dump truck. Yeah, I got a lot of flack for that because little girls don't play with dump trucks. She loved that dump truck. Her sons were very angry with her because they were never allowed to play with her dump truck. But as far as I know, she still has it to this day. I gave it to her in 1973. It was the biggest dump truck Tonka made. Yeah. Well, so that's an heirloom. That's getting ready to become an antique. Uh, in another 14 years, it'll be classified as an antique. And then I remember buying, when I was home from the military, I remember buying my nephew uh, some Star Wars toys. Nobody knows what happened to those. I have a feeling he might still have them, but nobody knows for sure. Of course, I could replace it because I have it. I have the toy that I gave him. I have another copy of it that I picked up along the way. So if he ever wanted it, I could replace it. 50 years. 50 years is vintage. So if it wasn't made in 1972 back, it is not vintage. But people like to say if it's over 20 years old, it's vintage. No, it isn't. It's still modern. It's contemporary, actually. Anything from 1973 on is contemporary. Yeah, I bet you he saw you collecting stuff, and that's why he still has it all. Well, that's annoying. I guess I've made it since the bots found me again. Oh, that's cool. Might have been. Actually, they show up everywhere. It's that one particular one that shows up everywhere, and I don't know how they keep managed to get into places. You would think by now they would have managed to get rid of them. But I see those in every chat I go into. I see those. Well, it's 10 o'clock. It's time for me to stop, and I'll be back in. Well, you won't see me on this show for another 3 weeks because I'm going to do tomorrow night's live stream. I'll do Horizon Picks next live stream on a Friday night, which will be 2 weeks after that. So then that next one would be the next time I do a Thursday night show. Maybe I might show up earlier, but as of right now, I'm just going to take some time off, recharge the batteries, rethink how I want to do this, and then get going again. And maybe I can actually get some interesting content put out there. And like I said, if I feel like it, maybe I'll throw out a just a minute or two, and I won't do anything longer than that, though. So in the meantime, everybody have a wonderful weekend. See you tomorrow night at Horizon Picks auction, and make sure before you hand your comics, your cards, toys, whatever it happens to be into, that you wash your hands. It's good for your collectibles, and more importantly, it's good for your health. Bye.